prepare to laugh. It's the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 24. This is part 2 of our top 10 list. We're going to do 5 through 1 now. We're going to get right into it now because it's getting late and we're all very tired / drunk. Well, I am. Knuckles, what's number 5 on your list?
Yeah. My number 5. Well, see, I had to switch it up because I didn't really feel right with my number 5. So right now, it's Left 4 Dead.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like, just go in. It's a great game when I wouldn't necessarily play it by myself, but
Well, I hope not.
well, the game is pretty fucking retarded by itself.
Oh my god.
Get 3 other people with you, and it's like, just let's go massacre zombies.
Yes.
And that's pretty much the entire game.
It's unfortunate people don't play games instead.
Watch out for the tank and watch out for the witch. That's all I have.
Oh my gosh. I remember playing Left 4 Dead for the first time, like on my Xbox 360, like years ago. It's like, my first random thing just by myself and stuff, I'm just in with a group, like, okay, everything's going, all of a sudden these random zombies just kept on just rushing towards me, like the freaking, whatever the heck the hunters or something like that, their tongues just trying to grab me, like, oh god, what the hell's going on here? What?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, it's like
Smokers.
you have to also, for that game, you can't just have 4 people, you have to have 4 people with mics.
Yes.
And
So they can
Yeah.
hear you scream.
I love how that game solved the whole hero complex of co-op
Yes.
shooters too. Where whenever you play with co-op shooters with other people, they just like one dude tries to run off and kill as many things as he can. In this game, if you did that,
Yeah.
you would die. You couldn't survive
Yes.
on your own. And so I love that mechanic that forced you to get along, goddammit. Like, it wasn't like they were going to let you, go be the hero of the game. If you got too far and somebody jumped on you, one of the hunters, you were done for. It didn't matter how good you were
Yep.
at
It's also fun to be a
FPSs,
dick, though, too, to those people.
Yeah,
When you
good
could save
choice.
them, but no, you're being a dick, and you ran off, so you're dead now. It's always nice, too.
Yeah.
You ran off when you fell behind.
But what a smart thing to have, like, an organic mechanism that makes you play along with the other players, though. That's really hard to do. So, kudos.
Yeah, and then you
Very true.
get those couple of dickheads in the game that is like, fuck you, if you don't keep up, you're gone.
Especially if you played the level like 12 times already, and so you knew exactly where to go, and then there was some noob that's playing their first time, they're like running into the bushes, and you're like, no, this way. Why are you going there?
I actually tried to help those people because I know how that feels.
Yeah.
But, it's like, yeah, but if you're playing retarded, you're not going to listen to someone who is actually experienced in zombie survival. Yeah, you're on your own.
Fuck them.
Fuck them, yeah.
Leave them for dead.
It's like, I tried to help.
Alright, so Yoshi, what's your number 5 game?
If we were just doing this based on number of hours you put into a game, this would be my number 1. But since there are other considerations, I'm going with Elder Scrolls 4: Oblivion.
Okay.
And this is kind of going back to Skyrim did not make my list, even though I put a good 50 hours into that game. But the thing about Elder Scrolls 4 that will make it a game that I remember for the whole generation is that it was the first game that I'd played that was open world to that degree, where I could literally, play that game for 20 hours before I started the main quest. I could just run around and, shoot deer with arrows and stuff and, like, look at different caves and shit, and it didn't matter. And then once I got into the main story and the side quests, it's so deep and there's so many different things you can do. I just ended up playing that game for so many hours. Just, I wouldn't even ride the horses because I wanted to get my athletic skill to go up. Yeah, I didn't want to.
Not a fan of horse armor?
No, I was. You know what I would do? I would walk around, just walking around and jumping the whole time, just to level up my acrobatics and my athletics. And I remember one time I was staying up really late playing that game. I woke up and I was my hand was involuntarily pressing the jump button over and over again. And I think I've been doing that for about 2 hours when I woke up, and I was like, but yeah,
Level 100.
yeah, I don't know whatever you know, all the glitchiness of that game and whatever you want to say negative about it. At the end of the day, it was a game that not only did I want to replay it to see how things would be different, but I also wanted to replay it because I felt like I could do it better the second time through.
Yeah.
Like I could really maximize my character. And then just, you know, that first scene, you know, you're getting your next-gen console and you haven't really played much, at least for me, before I got Oblivion. And you're trapped in the sewers, and you open up, and there's a beautiful world around you. And you're just kind of like, wow, this is where we are with graphics? All right, I'm in. You know, like, it had one of those defining moments for me. So, yeah, Oblivion's going to be my 5.
All right, Jackie Boy, what's your number 5?
Real quick.
Bethesda,
go ahead.
yeah.
Seems like
Go ahead,
Bethesda has the, like,
Jack
introducing... Yeah, Knuckles. Seems like Bethesda has that great introduction. It's like, here's the open world. Here's your world.
Yeah, go have fun with it.
I love it.
I totally love it. Yeah,
No
great.
hand-holding, just let you explore for yourself. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. If there's no objections, number 5. Jack, what is it?
My number 5 game of the generation is the original Mass Effect. Now, Mass Effect, originally, when I first played through it back in 2010, I had a frustrating experience after frustrating experience. Like, I know how people complain about the Mako, complain about the side missions of Mass Effect and stuff like that, but, I mean, yeah, I did have those certain gripes up until I replayed the original Mass Effect this year, so, through my second playthrough, a lot of those complaints that I had just vanished and stuff, and what I was initially left with was just a game that's just chock full with such, like, incredible, like, just, like, love and, like, depth just put into it. Like, in terms of, like, the backstory, how this one race, like, was founded, what this was, like how certain colonies are formed, how certain things work, just all these random details for the story itself. In my honest opinion, Mass Effect, the original one, has the best story that introduces you into that world and does the best job out of all the Mass Effect games where, oh, hey, I can get into this, you know what, I'm just, just saving the galaxy and stuff from Saren doing whatever the hell he's doing and stuff like that. But here's the thing: one of my other favorite moments of the generation is when you find out that everything
Sovereign.
Up until then, you meet that Reaper AI and stuff.
Sovereign.
It's not Saren that's behind. Like, it's not Sovereign. It's Sovereign. Exactly. You meet Sovereign and stuff, and he tells you every little thing that just starts making sense. It just clicks like, oh man, it's that deep and stuff. It's like, okay, I'm on board. Hell, I'm on board for the next game. Like, I love the little intricate little RPG details where you can just, like, customize your weapons, customize your armor, just a lot of just various depth, the character and stuff. I love the character introduction stuff to characters like Garrus and, like, Liara, Tali, like Rex and stuff like that. I didn't like some of the human, like, partners that you had, like, Caden Malenko and, like... God, I always let Caden die because he was just so boring in my honest opinion.
Same motherfucking voice, and it's the same whiny-ass character. I hate Karth, and I hate Caden. They're basically the same person. So, fuck them.
Plus, I mean, come on, you let Asher die, you know, come on, boobs, you know? You gotta let Asher live.
Yeah, I usually let her live. Whatever. Her face
but
looks
you know
pretty busted if you really look at Ashley and Mass Effect.
Yeah, I would live.
I'd
really
up to it.
But it's
she
still
doesn't
better
look
than
like
Cade.
any human.
It's still better than Cade.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And I actually did start to like a lot of the Mako stuff. I mean, I purposely did not do a lot of the various, like, side missions, which I know I left out a lot of, like, various things, like, some of the DLC stuff, but I always loved whenever I was on, like, an alien world in the Mako where I could just run over these big old Geth creatures and stuff like that, get out of my vehicle, destroy them and stuff, and earn this massive experience, like, boost and stuff like that. It was just so funny and just awkward, like...
Very nice. Alright, and my number 5, I believe, was on Yoshifett list, but Bioshock Infinite. They're going more into what, you know, like he said. I think the gameplay and the shooting aspect is I don't know. I prefer this over Call of Duty. I think. Plus with all the oh man, I'm just blanking. What are like all the powers you got?
The vigors.
In that game.
Vigors.
Thank you.
Vigors.
Just I like first-person shooters, but I prefer games where they have those side powers like that. And I love like just lighting everybody on fire or taking the ground, and then like they all fly up, and you can shoot them all. The story was excellent. Elizabeth with you throwing random stuff was great. I mean, just finding all of the reporters and listening to all the story, everybody's backstories was great about the game. The ending was fantastic. I don't think there's any really bad. You know, we're getting to these top games here. I'd really be nitpicking to find anything really negative about this game. I mean, really any of these games, but it's definitely one of the best stories of this generation. It has some really above par gameplay. But I think the story is what makes games stick out. Kind of with Walking Dead with me and Catherine is the gameplay isn't what makes it great, but it's a story that makes
that art design
that game so memorable
too.
to me.
I mean, just what an amazing looking game.
Yes,
every part of it.
The eyes and just everything. Yeah, the eyes and the cartooniness to it is just fantastic. Yeah, I definitely agree with you that is one of the best games of this generation. And we'll go on to our number 4s now. Nichols, what's your number 4?
Well, my number 4 is Borderlands.
Shocker!
So I'm the only person on planet
Borderlands.
Earth, I'm pretty sure, that couldn't get
Really?
into Borderlands, and I really wonder why that is. I played it a lot, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather go back and play Fallout. I know they're totally different experiences, but
I understand. I understand what you're saying, Josh. I mean, when I first tried playing Borderlands initially, I just couldn't get into it and stuff. Then I just tried it a couple years later. I just wasn't in the mood to actually play that type of a game until I was personally ready for it, and I actually ended up enjoying a lot of it.
So tell me, why is Borderlands such a great game that I should pick up and try again?
Well, you have to be a fan of the humor that's in it. It's kind of really...
I'm all for that.
Kind of perverted. As, you're off that.
Moxie does it Skaggy style. That stuff.
But, for that joke,
doggy
Skag
style. I see what they're
dogs.
saying.
But,
Open Skaggy
I
style.
see they were going with this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gangnam style? What?
You just go... Yeah,
It's style.
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead. Well, it's not Left 4 Dead 4. Left 4 Dead. It was like that.
That's going to be an awkward title. Left 4 Dead 4.
Like Army of
Part
Students 2?
Yeah, exactly. Or Two Worlds 2. That was another one of my favorite titles. Not a great game.
No.
But going back to Borderlands, it's like you kind of have to have that 4-player co-op deal. It's like you have to keep people keeping you company and just pushing through the game. And then some of the dialogue isn't as great as a Borderlands 2, but like just some of the moments in Borderlands was great. Just fucking you finally work up to the vault you're trying to get to, and it turns out it's not what you thought it was. It wasn't full of treasure. It was just a giant monster that attacked you.
This is very articulate. You're losing it.
Yeah.
Borderlands good.
Borderlands good.
Hulk
Three
smash.
Knuckles. Borderlands good. Oh.
Yeah, I've had a little bit too much alcohol, but
Yeah.
it's cel shaded style. So if you like that, kind of like from Walking Dead,
Wind Waker too. Don't forget.
Best game
Wind
ever.
Waker, didn't really care
Yep.
for it, but
Damn right, Wind Waker.
yeah, my number 4
Top
is
10
Borderlands.
GameCube
I'm
games.
gonna take some more
We're doing
alcohol.
that next. This is bonus content.
Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario, Zelda Wind Waker. What else we got here? Super Smash Bros. Melee,
Super Smash Bros. Melee,
Metroid
Eternal
Prime.
Darkness,
Resident Evil 4.
Motherfucker.
Metroid Prime, Pokemon Coliseum.
Rogue Squadron, maybe? I don't know. Mario Golf.
Rogue Squadron
Rogue
2.
Tour.
We could
Yeah,
definitely
that
make
was a
this.
good one.
We could definitely make this
Mario
that
Kart
podcast
Double
happen.
Dash, Super Mario Sunshine. I liked.
Well, there's that podcast.
Fuck it. We're not-
Whole separate.
Nobody
podcast.
cares about this.
Ooh, Pikmin. Don't forget
Yeah,
about Pikmin.
Oh, I forgot
Pikmin's the
about
shit.
And, would you consider Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess GameCube?
It was technically on GameCube, so yes.
Or was it more of Wii? But
I don't know.
It was made for GameCube,
You know, it was-
but
It was just like one of those cross-gen games, bridging the gap. But
my number 4. Move on.
Okay,
But
so let's go on. Yoshifett, what number 4?
okay,
Well, my number 4 has already been mentioned, so I can just quickly say it. Mine's Left 4 Dead, and this was the reason why I rank Left 4 Dead up so high is because of the amount of time I spent just playing it over and over again. Even though those levels are the same, they had that spontaneous AI where creatures would come from different angles and whatnot. But I had a friend who would come over, and I swear we would play the No Mercy, the hospital level. We would just sit there for 4 hours and play through that like 5 or 6 times, and
The
just
finale.
each
the finale
time.
for No Mercy
Wow.
is actually really good. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually sometimes we would just play the
Yeah.
finale and just do it over and over again to see how good we could do it, and that was like there was something amazing about the idea of perfecting it, and then also not to be a hipster, but I'm going to be a hipster. That game came out and was the zombie game, and then all of a sudden there were tons of zombie games. I mean, I felt like that game really paved the way for the zombie games that came after it, and I still think it's the best one of the lot. And I think that a lot of the other games, they just added zombie elements onto a game that was already there, where this one was like, okay, we're focusing on the fucking zombies, that's what this game is about. And I just had countless hours of fun. I even got that achievement where you kill 53,000 zombies.
holy shit!
Feels like an impossible achievement, except for if you play it like many, many hours. And I loved just going through and learning every nook and cranny of the level. Of all the 4 different levels you started out with, and then they added more stuff on the survival. Yeah, just
That survival
fucking
was
great game.
ridiculously hard.
Oh, but it was so fun when you get up to like the 5 or 6 minute mark,
No matter-
and you were like, I'm
No
still
matter
alive.
How much you try to plan, it's like, alright, well, the gas tank's here. Gas laying down by the fence. It's like, oh shit, everything's on fire, and they're running at me.
Yeah, there's a tank on fire and it's trying to hit me. It was a fool's errand to try to set that shit up. That's my number 4. Left 4 Dead coming in at number 4. I like the symmetry there too.
But real quick before we move on, Left 4 Dead 4. Fuck it.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Fuck it. I had it, but I didn't want to interrupt you, Josh. But
That's okay.
All right.
I
So,
interrupted
Jackie
everybody
Boy,
else,
what's
so
your
you
number
probably should
4?
have just done that.
Well, my number 4. My number 4 is one of the main reasons why I purchased a PS3 back in 2008. Metal Gear Solid 4.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yep, that's exactly right. Metal Gear Solid 4 was the culmination of Solid Snake's story and stuff. It was pretty much one of the key things that I bought the PS3, but it was mostly the reason why I like this game in general. Bearing the long cutscenes, the long drawn out stuff, like with action in between. It's just various moments that would just make reference back to the previous games in the series, like say the part where you go back to Shadow Moses Island and stuff, like from the original Metal Gear Solid and stuff. You actually played in like vintage like PS1 graphics. It was just so funny just playing like this next gen console stuff, and you're just painting like these little pixels and stuff like that, like Solid Snake and everything, sneaking inside without being noticed by the guards. But a lot of the characters are very memorable, like the arms dealer, like Drebin, who's this African American guy, is like blonde, like short hair and stuff like that. And he has this chain smoking monkey and stuff like that. Just telling like Snake like all the various like details about the various like mercenary things that he just killed and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, the thing about Metal Gear Solid 4 I liked was the boss battles. Like, there's the first boss you would encounter, Laughing Octopus, I think her name was. I've seen like various like YouTube videos and stuff where people have actually like because there's like this particular bed or something in the middle of this place, right? And I've just seen the characters like lay across the bed and stuff like that, just toss like laughing octopus just off the bed and stuff. But yeah, there's just a lot of like action-packed moment after action-packed moment where I just was just engaged in it, really. I mean, yeah, Mass Effect I liked and stuff. It was like more of like a slow kind of burn and stuff that eventually, like, you know, it got better and I feel it was like a better experience. But with Metal Gear Solid 4, it's just cutscene, mention stuff, you know, lots of various actions, stuff. But I loved the last bit of Metal Gear Solid 4, just the whole fight with Liquid Ocelot and just all these various little references, like the life bars. Every time it would go down, it would flash to a different type of life bar from the previous Metal Gear games, and the ending is just like just batshit crazy and stuff. It was like, oh my god, what in the hell is going on here?
Can I tell you two things?
Yes.
About this game? Liquid Ocelot is actually the name of the antidepressant
Really?
I take. And then also, the second thing is my favorite character in that game. You guys know who it is?
No.
It's the box.
The box?
Yeah, it's my favorite character. So, anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta go take my Liquid Ocelot. I'm going too nutty on you guys.
But let me just one more thing about it. The reason why I like it so much is because, you know, it was just build up after build up after build up, and it just played into the factor why I liked it so much. It's because I played the Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3 that 4 had as much as an impact, whereas somebody would just randomly buy the game and play it. Yeah, they would be confused. But
certainly
anyway,
a lot of number 4s on our number 4 games of the year. Mine is Metal Gear Solid 4.
Look at that.
This is actually...
oh my god.
I'm going to pretty much mimic everything that Jack just said, but this is the reason why I bought a PS3, was Metal Gear Solid 4. I remember when I bought my PS3, I bought 3 games. Uncharted, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Flower. And this is definitely the main reason why like I said, this is Metal Gear Solid was more of this. I think one of the reasons why it's on this high on my list is it's the fanboy in me, because Metal Gear Solid 1 was the game that got me into becoming a huge when we were younger, we all played games. Like we all played some video games some sort of way. But Metal Gear Solid was that first game where I was hooked. Like it was a game that hooked me into gaming, and brought me to where I am
What year
today.
was that?
Like 97,
What year did that?
maybe. So,
see, that makes me fucking sad, because Metroid was the game that got me into gaming. And what was that?
Go take a Liquid Ocelot.
Yeah, if I don't take any liquid, I have to take Liquid Ocelot for my heart condition. Or
no.
Yeah. So Metal Gear Solid 4. Okay, so we think this is a solid number 4 game here. Okay. I'll roll with it. I mean, I never played any of the Metal Gear Solid games. I played Metal Gear on the NES, but I don't think
I think it's a few gens behind this gen. But
not the same thing.
Basically, everything I was going to say, pretty much Jack already did say. It was, I mean, it's more, I guess, one of the reasons why even though it is a great game, and the movie scenes kind of drag on very, very long. It's more the fanboy in me that has put it high up on my list, so that's why it's there. And I guess we're getting down to our number 3s now. So, Knuckles, what's your number 3 game of the year, our generation?
My number 3, which was mentioned earlier on by Gabe, is Uncharted 2.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Wow, that's really high.
Well,
I mean, I'm not going to hate or anything,
I want to hear this.
But why is that one so high for you?
It's just where you, not really a spectacular part but when you're climbing the hotel in Nepal.
Yeah.
And then
I forgot about that.
You just go through and you end up in looking for Shangri-La or Shambhala.
Yeah.
Shambhala, and then you find out that you're just going through this little adventure with this god. And,
Tenzin!
You go through with this god, and he just gets attacked by a Yeti.
Oh yeah!
And then when you're climbing through the town of trying to avoid kind of semi-private military guys. I forgot what the hell their name was, but
I think it was Cobra. Cobra, I'm pretty sure.
It was Cobra.
Commander.
Yeah.
It was Cobra operatives.
You know, it was.
Baroness
I
and
remember
Destro
that level where you had to follow the pack guy, whoever, I can't remember his name. You had to follow one of those guides.
Yeah.
What are those fuckers called? I'm so annoyed that I can't.
Was that
it was
one of the guides in Uncharted 2?
Yeah,
like...
one of those, one of the guys that like carries your bag for you as you climb Mount Everest. Whatever those fuckers are called.
Pack mule?
Like, no, it does start with P, I think. But I remember being really frustrated by that part of the game. But then I remembered enjoying the blue monkeys at the end that you had to shoot with your golden arrows. That was fun.
Oh my gosh.
A Scooby-Doo ending in it, where like the entire time that's like
Yeah, it was Old Man Willard was behind it the whole time. You unmasked. You know what's funny is when I first played that game, I made a lot of jokes on Twitter about how much climbing there is in that game, but I hadn't played any Assassin's Creed games yet, so I had no idea what I was fucking talking about. There's not that much climbing in that game compared to Assassin's Creed. It ain't even close, man. But no, that's a good. No, it's a really good game. It's a really good game. Once I got past that place where you have to infiltrate and you're using the darts to shoot people and. Or not darts, but the silence gun early on in the game.
That mission.
Once I got through that mission, I just kind of breezed through that game because it was so much fun. Like, I just couldn't stop playing it. I remember played it for like a week straight. And the only reason I couldn't put it on my list is because I never had any desire to go back and play it again. So, it was fun, though.
I actually put this at the top of my list. I probably touched the multiplayer probably once.
I love the multiplayer. It was great.
Agreed.
But, just go to the part where you're just like, you go through Shambhala and you find this tree of life that's supposed to make you invincible if you eat some of it. It's like, and then you just have to got the background noise.
What? Oh.
I was hearing background noise. Sorry, but it was like, crap. It threw me off. Well, you start running. He's running through trying to escape the temple as it's collapsing in on itself. I thought that was fun. That's probably why it's up my number 3.
Pretty epic.
Okay, so Yoshi, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a 3. It's Fallout 3. Been mentioned before. I echo all the things that you guys said about it earlier. To me, one of the most in terms of personality, I love that game. The sense of humor, the little Fallout Boy icon that goes along with every little perk, all the little bobbleheads you had to pick up or you got to pick up, all the choices you could make, the countless number of hours I spent playing that, and all the DLC. I mean, that's another game where I have all the achievements on that game except for the ingots or whatever they're called in the pit.
The ingots.
I have all the achievements except for that one. Every single one done. And I think I played through that game 3 different times where I put at least 150 hours into the campaign. And I could just live in that universe forever. I can just enjoy it. I mean, I love New Vegas. It didn't make my list, but it's, I would put it in my top 20. But this one, it's going to always have a special place in my heart for being such an amazing open world game that also had just this... it had something that Oblivion didn't have, which was this kind of twist of a little bit of humor in there. And the characters were much more interesting, I felt like. Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon, you've got to find your daddy Qui-Gon the whole time. All the different companions you could pick up. Just going around and, trying to find all the skill magazines and stuff like that. To me, it was like the ultimate loot game. I could just go around and try and find anything possible. I love that game. I think it's one of the best made games of the generation, and I don't think we've said it as much as we can say about Fallout 3. It's a great game.
Real quick, you say you got all the achievements, so you probably remember this quest where you go across the bridge and it starts blood ties, and a guy shoots at you.
From the beginning, yeah.
The blood ties. Yeah, it's like the blood ties quest. So it's like. You go in, you infiltrate this.
Right, the vampires, yes.
Yeah, and you find out it's like, okay, they're not killing everyone. It's like they're trying to make this kid heal this kid that's been turned.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to bring him in to the family, so to speak. But yeah, no, that's.
Well,
I think I can't remember the name of the character, but his sister is Lucy. I think is the name of the character that sends you on that quest. I've played that game enough times. That there are tons of little quests like that, and then all the expansion stuff was great. The Broken Steel expansion, which increased the cap from 20 to 30, was fantastic. That's another one of those games where I love just walking around power leveling before I even start any of the main quests, and you can get all the guns. And then there's the alien crash site, which later on became DLC, really good DLC too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a really fantastic game. So much to do in that game. So many different quests. And yeah, and again, you guys mentioned this, but the environment, it should be boring with all that brown, right? But then it's not. Because there's so many different things you can do and so many things you can pick up. I've been in love with that game forever. I mean, when I first got it, I didn't realize that it was going to be my game of the year for like 4 years straight. But that's Fallout 3 for me. It's made it to number 3, which is, I guess, I don't know. I'm arguing like it should be number 1, but it's number 3 for me.
Well, it's the only game it's the only time you can go into DC with a gun and not.
Right, exactly. Those super mutants will try to gun you down.
Well, the super mutants, but the government.
The super mutants were great too because they were part of the humor. They would say things, like "I'm going to eat your brain after you're dead, human," and stuff like that. That was really just fun.
Even the mutant you got as a fucking.
Fox. Yeah, he's badass. A lot of fun. Dog is fun. 3 Dog is great. I don't know, just overall, generally enjoyable game. The totally nutso ending, which I enjoyed too. You get that big
the ending.
The prime creature. I can't remember what it's called. Something Liberty Prime or whatever. The statue that comes to life and starts destroying everything was fantastic. Yeah, so no, the pre-DLC I was okay with. I was really happy when they opened it up and let you play after that final decision, where you could, you could end yourself essentially. You had to end yourself to win the game, if I remember correctly, how they originally did it.
Okay, so Jackie Boy, what's your number 3?
My number 3 game is Batman Arkham Asylum. Well, with Batman, I could go the cliche route and saying it's probably much the most authentic feel that make me feel like Batman, but the actual reason why I love Batman Arkham Asylum so much is because it reminded me of a couple of games that I hold in very high regard that I absolutely love to play. Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Both those games, including Batman Arkham Asylum, held key elements where I loved just to explore different parts and scenarios and stuff. You don't have the right type of weapons to advance a certain part. You got to go to a specific point, face off against this particular boss or something like that, get the random upgrade and stuff, and then just go and progress to get further on. I loved the absolute boss battles you had with, say, Killer Croc. Killer Croc, where you're just on the rafts in the Arkham's sewer and stuff like that. Just try to escape from him and stuff without really give him all these sound movements so he doesn't just try to attack and kill you and stuff, because if you're too slow, he's going to jump out of the water, he's going to grab you, and he's going to kill you just right there in instant death. But the Scarecrow missions, the Scarecrow things were just absolutely trippy and stuff, because here you are, you're just trying to hide from Scarecrow actually after he gives you this hallucinogenic Scarecrow type of gas or something like that. So you're trying to do all these various things just to make sure he doesn't spot you and just get you. So the end of those particular things, you had to activate these spotlights to shine on them. So you would just go through and just get the advance on to the next part. I didn't like the last boss battle with Joker and stuff, but every bit a part about that game, the solid gameplay, the battle maps and stuff, the stealth missions, I absolutely loved it, how I could just zip up to a gargoyle statue, and I could just freak the hell out of the freaking, Joker's crew and stuff like that, where you just take out his buddies, they're just thinking, oh man, the Batman's got over here, hey, everybody crowd over to this corner right here. It's like, this guy is down. It's like, all of a sudden, you just left out of that one group. It's like, oh, I know you're there, Batman. Like, you just start shooting in the darkness and stuff like that. Just about to crap himself just out of sheer fear. Just moments like that just made it just so incredible, in my honest opinion.
Quick note, Super Metroid is better than any of the games we've mentioned so far.
I agree. No, I honestly agree with you. I love Super Metroid.
Super Metroid is hard to top. I'm not even fucking around there. Like I think one of my formative. You were talking about Metal Gear Solid being a formative gaming experience, but I was amazed. I mean, at that time, the way that Super Metroid ends was just mind blowing. You're like, this is not how video games end. I have to do something to win. There's not going to be this Deus Ex Machina that comes in, and also, like you said, the exploration factor. But sorry, I didn't need to go off on that too much. But just for you kiddies out there, play Super Metroid. If you've not played it, find a way to play it. It's so worth
agreed.
Track stuff on Super Nintendo.
Just track it on down Super Nintendo, buy it off the Wii's Virtual Console or the Wii's Virtual Console. I don't care if you freaking pirate it on your damn PC.
Punch a baby and take it from that baby. I don't care how you get it. Just play it. Damn it. What's wrong with you people? Alright. Why is it on my 360? It should be on every console. It should be available widely. It should be on my PS3. It should be a launch title for the Xbox One. It really
that'd be so awesome. So funny.
You said you lost respect for Final Fantasy. You stopped playing Final Fantasy once.
I did, Nintendo. But they didn't give Samus like a spiky girly hair or anything when they switched over. So like if they did that. If they changed Samus too drasticusty, which I hear is what Metroid is like.
Going on to my number 3, it is something I think that's on everybody's, at least 2 other people's list so far, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
This is definitely this Mass Effect, the trilogy, is probably the best thing ever about this generation as far as games go. But
I actually hope there's
what about the Dead Space trilogy, though? No, I'm just kidding.
No. You didn't play 3.
I didn't play any of them. I just played the demo for the Dead Space games, and that was enough for me, but...
Break my heart, Yoshi.
I know. I'm a heartbreaker.
No, but really going on, I mean, like, you guys have already pretty much touched on what's so great about the games, but, no, just everything about the game, there's some reasons why it's not higher on my list, but there's some technical issues with the game, some of the frame rate drops. The overall gameplay portion isn't as smooth as you want it to be. But, I mean, of all 3 games, it has the best story by far. Saren is excellent. That's probably my biggest complaint with 2 and 3 is you don't have that big main bad guy. Or, I mean, you have the Reapers, but you don't have, like, the main guy you want to kill.
The collectors really had a lot of potential, I felt like, and it was kind of squandered by the
I would have loved to hear more about the collector.
Well, they were the pro fans, so I mean, there's not that much to say about them. But the thing is about Mass Effect 2 is that the end boss was so stupid and underwhelming. After you spent the entire game building up this team, and you're like, all right, we're gonna do this assault, and then it lasts like 20 minutes, and then the final boss you bite is this stupid big mistake on BioWare's part. The way I find Mass Effect 2's ending more offensive than Mass Effect 3. I know I'm in the minority there. I really felt like, I mean, it's great that last shot of Shepard looking up and seeing all the Reapers coming, but that last boss is just an atrocity. I mean, just really one of the worst things in the Mass Effect series. Whereas, like you're saying, Saren's an asshole. You want to kill Saren. From the very beginning, when you meet Nihilus and Saren betrays him, you're already on board with this. Okay, this guy's a motherfucker, and you just want to kill him the whole game. And there's the great little showdown you have on Veermeyer, I think it's called, before you actually get to have the proper battle in the Citadel. Yeah, and it just sets you up for this. Like, all right, I'm going to show down with this, and then there's a lot of ways that showdown can go too, which is another great thing about Mass Effect 1. There's a lot of ways you can skin that particular cat.
Like make him kill himself.
You can do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I actually made him do for my second playthrough. I actually convinced him enough where he actually shot himself.
I've done that a few times. I have to say this is one of the games. This is the game I played the most this generation, so most number of playthroughs.
Okay, so going on, we're getting here towards the end, guys. So
top
yes,
two, exciting.
Knuckles.
Everybody's on
needles. Ready for the fight.
Get the popcorn ready, boys.
What's number two?
You hate for number two.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Number two made $1 billion.
I love those puppies in the darkness.
It's like Lenny and George from Of Mice and Men. I just pet them, George. I pet them puppies all day long. I will pet them puppies. You give me a Nintendo and a controller, I will pet them. I will stroke them, and then it didn't hurt none. Sorry.
Alright, let's be honest. It was actually connected.
Skittles!
Come here, Skittles! Fuck yeah.
But,
Skittles!
my number two, which made $1 billion in
Minecraft. Well, there's... Dude, you can make an argument just from a historical perspective that game had such an impact that I think it deserves to be mentioned. Like, holy crap, what other game was like Minecraft from this generation? None. Everybody played it, so...
No.
Castle. Yeah, but, Minecraft, like, virtual Legos, you go in, build whatever the hell you want. It's a time suck. And that's what I really appreciate about it. It's like, there's no real plot, there's no real, like, you have to fight, like, creeper every now and again and fight a zombie. But there's no real plot. You just go into your world, pretty much endless Legos without the mess.
No complaints here. I won't argue.
Okay.
Not this
really,
one.
Yoshi,
that's too classy. I like that pick.
Okay. So, Yoshi, what's your number two then?
My number two's already been mentioned, but I hold it in slightly higher regard than other people, and it's BioShock, the original. Being in that it's the only game I've ever played where I actually sat and it's the second game that I played like this, but I already mentioned the other one, which was Spec Ops: The Line. But it was the only game where I got to a certain point and I realized that the maker of the game was fucking with me. That they had intentionally set out and they'd given me a list of things that I was supposed to do, and they had arrows pointing at where I was supposed to go, and then I got to the Andrew Ryan confrontation and I was like, you guys are fucking genius. You just deconstructed what video games are all about through this gameplay mechanic, and I was like, this is unbelievable. I'd never played it. I didn't think it was possible to play a game that would make me think so much about the concept of what I do when I play a game. Why am I going to kill this bad guy? Oh, because somebody else told me it was bad. Why am I going this direction? Oh, there's an arrow pointing this way. They made that part of the fucking plot. Would you kindly? As somebody who loves books and literature, I thought, wow, this is a game changer. And then not to mention, and maybe some people will agree, some people will disagree with this part, I think that game is absolutely a blast to play. I love all of the different weapons you have, the different types of guns you can upgrade, your plasmids. I love the little mini boss battles with the big daddies. I just
see this thing I didn't mention earlier when I mentioned BioShock. Just planning is like the big daddies aren't necessarily evil.
No,
like you don't have to fight them, and and if you do, you have to plan out.
And there was definitely like something going on there with the emotional connection you'd get from playing like Walking Dead to Clementine. The Little Sisters gave me that same kind of uncomfortable feeling about like, wait, this is too, like if you played through the evil way where you just harvest them and they'd turn into those little slugs. It had an impact on me. Like I felt like a bad person, and then when I would liberate them, it was kind of like the opposite feeling, obviously. So. Just a really well put together game. I blasted through it several times. It's the only game I've ever played where I played the demo, and the demo made me go, oh my gosh, I have to play this game now. Like I don't want to wait any longer. And so And I know a lot of people would, purists would say, well, it's such an easy game. Once you get the freezing plasmid and you can just smash things over and over again. You don't really have to have that much skill to play it. I don't really care about that. It's fun. It checks off all the boxes for what I want out of a video game. So
very nice.
That's moving on.
Okay,
my number 2
and
is
going
Bioshock.
on, Jackie Boy, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Portal 2. Well, for Portal 2, I originally played through the original Portal. I absolutely loved it. I loved a lot of the witty humor by GLaDOS. I loved the puzzles. I know it was a little bit short, but yeah, the experience was great and stuff. But with Portal 2, I felt that this game had a lot of awesome, various conceptual puzzles. Had a lot of little interesting little tidbits, things like a lot of those various gag things where you can just bounce off the walls and stuff, and bounce to and from and stuff. Plus the introduction of various other concepts, say that white type of that white type of spread. I'm not too sure. Okay, I deserve that one.
I know what you're talking about, where you could create a concrete wall that you could then use for creating a new portal. Yeah, sure. I mean, the humor in that game is pretty much unparalleled. There's not a funnier game out there, I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I loved a lot of various little humors and stuff, with the Cave Johnson, the whole the freaking lemons and all the other crap. One of my favorite things is when you're falling, plummeting and stuff, you're with GLaDOS, who had her little, freaking, her, pretty much a robot type of soul or something, just stuffed inside a potato by Wheatley and stuff. Right. You're just free falling, and all of a sudden, she just looks at you, it's hey, hello, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
Yeah.
And I just fucking started laughing.
So what was that level where, you played the level, and the level was named after the thing that GLaDOS said to you, and it was also an achievement. It was something like, this is the part where you die, or something like that. And so it would be it was chapter 11, this is the part where you die, and then it was all achievement, this is the part where you die, and then the character said it. One of my most memorable moments from a game. Or this is the part where he kills you, or something like that. It was just a great meta humor moment where, you're already laughing, and then the little achievement pops up, and you're like, oh, right, this is where I die. And it's so dire.
And, one last thing though about Portal 2 before we move on is it had some serious tones to it too. Once you found out that GLaDOS and stuff actually might be the actual mother to Shell and stuff like that, her and Cave Johnson. You had to really look for that detail too. It's not until the end games and stuff where you actually catch GLaDOS and stuff just speaking a lot of little dialogue that the secretary was saying to Cave Johnson, where you realize, oh shit.
That's the secretary, yeah. Well, I couldn't put it on my list because it's one of those games where I played it once. I'll probably play it again in 4 years when I've forgotten everything about it. But
yeah.
It's not a game that has much replay value in my view. I mean, I'd rather just look up notes that Cave said, and that's my replay value. That's why I put Portal over Portal 2, because I feel like Portal 2 is a lot more based on the story and the jokes, and once you've heard them once, you don't need to do it again. Whereas Portal, I can kind of play and try to maximize. They have those challenges where you're beat this level by shooting only 5 portals, and that was appealing to me. But I love that game, but it was one of those games where I was like, people who said I should have waited to buy it used because I was only going to play through it once, they were right. Although the co-op was fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the co-op was good, but like you said, Yoshi is I couldn't put it in my top 10 because you can only play it one time before you have to forget what to do, or else it's not really that entertaining anymore. It's same jokes now.
Great game though, still.
Okay.
Same reason I didn't put Last of Us on here, because I don't want to play Last of Us again, ever. Maybe someday, but I mean, that was a great game, but I don't want to play it again. I don't know how to explain that, but there are some games where I just want to play it once, and to me that disqualifies it from being a quote-unquote, great game, but that's only a personal issue. So.
Yeah, I wish I would have done the same with Heavy Rain, but that's one mistake I won't repeat again.
Yoshi, that is a perfect segue into my number 2, Last of Us.
great game. I have no problem with that being somebody's number 2.
Yeah.
I can't imagine ever wanting to put it in the PS3 again and be like, I gotta play this.
Yeah, and there's it's definitely tough. Where I agree with you, where replay value does sort of can have an effect on where you want to play some of these games. And really, the way I looked at it when I put this list together was if I had that little light thing from Men in Black and I could erase my memory, if I can take these games and which games I want to replay again for the first time, experience it the first time, and that's kind of how I put this list together. And that's the reason why Last of Us.
Whoa! I didn't know we got the mind erasy thing from Men in Black. My list would be different too.
What? Oh, god dang it.
You gotta clear parameters, man. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Damn it, now I gotta play this game.
No, I know what you're saying.
No.
I understand.
I'm sorry to set the guidelines.
I feel you, dog.
No, and that, I mean, a lot of people hate the Uncharted style of gameplay. I personally love that style. Mainly because I think it's mainly because I'm a lot better at third-person shooters than I am first-person shooters. But just, I mean, once again, it's like if you look at my list, a lot of these games are on there because of the story. And I'm more of the story gamer, and Last of Us probably, besides Mass Effect, had the best story of this generation. And I mean, people made jokes, Yoshi, you included, about how it's kind of weird having Ellie around with this guy in his 40s. But I thought the way they set it up was perfect. You understood it, and you felt like Ellie was like you had to take care of her. There was definitely some issues I had with some of the puzzles, and I use it in quotation marks when I say that, where put Ellie on a pallet, okay, now push her, now push 10 feet over here, puzzle solved. It's kind of Naughty Dog's half-assed way of doing puzzles, but I thought the gameplay was great. Just like, you didn't have a lot of bullets, you didn't have a lot of ammo, you didn't have a lot of weapons, things like that. Didn't last very long, and just trying to sneak through the areas like in the wintertime when you're sneaking through the town and trying to get to Ellie, who's trapped in the restaurant with the guys trying to kill her, and you're trying to get to her, and just that whole moment was just gut wrenching. It's just I'm on the edge of my chair, just trying to get through that part, trying to sneak past, trying to kill as many enemies, because you can get in gunfights you want, but you're going to burn all your ammo out, and it's just, you're going to make it way more difficult for yourself. And I just felt like that game, if maybe, I don't know if I would want to play it again, but it's definitely one of those games where if I were to think back 10 years from now, think back to this generation, that game would probably be one of the first ones I think of. So, yes.
Game was so intense too. I could only play it for like an hour at a time, and then I had to quit because I was just like, my controller would be all sweaty, and I was my
like
was
fish.
sweaty. It was awful. But by the way, I just wanted to mention that as soon as I started playing it, my concerns about Ellie and Joel's relationship was totally put to rest. It was just some of the promotional stuff made it seem really weird, like it was like a Lolita situation where he was. But then when they have the introduction with the daughter, then you get what it's about. And I'm a dad. I have a daughter, so I get it. There's nothing creepy or bad about that dynamic. It was actually handled incredibly well. It was just the promotional stuff made it seem a little weird, and then. And then knowing that the average age of gamer is going up to a dude in his mid-30s to early 40s, and then, like, he gets to protect the 14-year-old girls, like, this is a little weird for me, but the way it was handled, it was definitely, like, you felt like she was a daughter figure. There was that business halfway through with the two characters, I can't remember their names right now.
The two brothers?
Where one of them gets infected, the little boy and his dad, and... Oh, man. Oh, yeah, brothers, that's right. And that scene was just, oh, wow. That came out of nowhere, and I was, in terms of being emotionally affecting, that game might be the most emotionally moving game of the generation. Yeah. Could be.
Definitely.
I would
agree
put it up there.
with you. So, we're down to our number ones, but before we do our number ones, we're each going to do a couple of our honorable mentions. These are games that we considered for our list, but didn't quite make the cut. So, Knuckles, why don't we start with you? What are some of your honorable mentions?
Some of mine, like, some of them are actually been mentioned in previous lists. Just, I couldn't really think of some reason why. Like, Walking Dead and Portal 2. Like, those like earlier said, Portal 2, you had to have that Men in Black memory
Flashy
eraser
thing,
to
yeah.
play it again quickly. Yeah. Then you had the Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
that
Like,
definitely hurts
okay, all the choices you make really didn't count for anything. Yeah, and it's like, but GTA 5 is like, I
Plus,
like
that game
you,
sucks,
but
so.
the way you handled your online didn't really pan out. Well, it suffers from the Yu-Gi-Oh effect where.
No, I mean like the
if you
entire
were
game
playing at
sucks,
the
but
start,
go on.
like when it first came on, you had more money than well. Wii Sports,
Good
come
game.
on, it's the best.
Man,
selling game
I
of
have
all
Wii
time.
Sports on my honorable mentions too. I do. I seriously do. It's the best Wii game. There's not a better Wii game.
Yeah, it's like I put more hours into Wii Boxing than I did any other Wii game.
It was bowling for me. Man, I love the
Baseball.
bowling.
Home run derby for me.
Yeah,
Home run derby
Yeah,
was
sure.
big fun. I was doing that left-handed after a while because I just wanted to see if I could switch it in Wii.
yeah. It
Not
was,
in real
it was
baseball.
boxing and tennis for me, but and then it's one of the few actual MMOs that 360.
Final
actually
Fantasy
had.
11.
Phantasy Star. No,
Oh,
actually the other one, Phantasy Star Universe, which I've been a huge fan since Phantasy Star Online, and when it came out for the 360, I was like, oh my god, there's an MMO out for the 360, and which at the time it came out, MMOs weren't free to play, so you had to spend like $10 a month. And my last one was like everyone loved it, and was like, okay, it's a great example of physics with comedy in it. Angry Birds.
Huh.
Should be mentioned, I think, in this generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Which, those are
Okay,
mine.
okay. Yoshifett, what's some of your honorable mentions?
I'm just gonna list mine since most of them have been mentioned before. But Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which I actually kind of liked better than Assassin's Creed 2, but I can't really put it above it. Skyrim, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, obvious. I mean, it's just that was a benchmark game, and even though I can't put it in my top 10, I still, I have fond memories of it. The entire Gears of War series should be mentioned, if only for the wonderful co-op business where you're defending. I can't remember what that's called.
Yep.
Right? Horde mode, which was just hours of fun. The Rock Band series I want to throw out there because I had a lot of fun playing those games, especially with Smelly Pirate and Dogs Die from my own Boom show. We used to play that a lot together. Saints Row the Third almost made it to my top 10 list. Great game, very funny, fun, enjoyable. Far Cry 3, Uncharted 2, and Last of Us. Those were my honorable mentions. So I could give you another 10 games, I guess. And I could do
me
a top
too.
20. So.
Alright. Okay, Jackie Boy,
Anyway.
what about you? What are some honorable mentions for you?
Well, okay, since I do got a lot of them, I'm just going to go ahead and just start going through them. I mean, we've already touched upon Mass Effect 2 and 3. We've touched upon Halo 3. Let's see, Gears of War, I like the campaign and stuff. Maybe not so much of the multiplayer experience because of my first, Xbox Live experience not being so great. But Castle Crashers was an awesome game that I loved. Let's see, Left 4 Dead, awesome. Let's see, then we're going to go with some little niche ones here. Shatter for the PSN, which I thought was pretty fun. Let's see, Loco Roco, which is a PSP game that, kind of kiddie kind of things, but it was just like a really fun game just using the shoulder buttons. Let's see, you had Skate from EA, which I thought was pretty fun because it was just a natural kind of evolution. Say you're used to the old Tony Hawk games, right? Well, Skate, you're just using like the various analog stick to do all these various advanced tricks, and almost have it down to a science where you could just do all sorts of these various little flip tricks. You make it feel like you're actual skating professionally and stuff. Let's see what else here. I have Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, which is like a Wii fighting game that I liked. This takes characters from the Tatsunoko type of brand, say Gotcha Man, and other types of Japanese like
is
characters
Mr.
and
Sparkle
stuff,
in
their
there?
Japanese movie stuff against Capcom characters.
If Mr. Sparkle is a playable character, I'm in. He's disrespectful to dirt. Did you know that?
That'd be. Well, you know, it's kind of funny. There's a character in there that's kind of like Mr. Sparkle. No, I think he's called like Mr. Sprite or something like that, or something like that.
Hello, American investor. Sorry.
But anyway, there's
one of the best Simpsons episodes ever. If you look down the Mr. Sparkle episode, should be watched by all. Yeah, it's a great one. Anyway,
I love that Simpsons.
Derailed.
I agree.
I'm good at that.
It's okay. It's okay. Another one I have is Super Paper Mario, which is I believe is a very underrated game, which, I mean, yeah, it's not like an actual RPG, mind you. I mean, there's just very light, but a lot of the story I thought was very surprisingly fun, kind of a little bit dark for a Nintendo game.
Hey,
but
let me ask you a quick question about that.
Other things here, the Phoenix...
Do you think it's as good as Thousand Year
No.
Door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think it's as good as the Thousand Year Door? No, because of the
Year
length.
Door is so good.
I would
That's why
believe,
I couldn't.
but,
I helped my wife. My wife played through Paper Mario, Super Paper Mario, when we had a Wii, and because she really loved Thousand Year Door, and I helped her with some parts of it, and I was like,
yeah.
this is cool and all, but like I really miss I'll still play through Thousand Year Door. I did actually recently because my daughter was interested in seeing a Mario game, and so I played that one. She totally dug it, and she loves Yoshi and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that game to me was just like, why is this not an RPG? I got a little mad about that.
I absolutely agree with you. That's the number one gripe that I had when I was initially playing it, because, hey, it's a platformer. Yeah, I know it's easy and accessible, but this would have been better if it was like
totally
a RPG structured after Thousand Year Door. But let's see. I have just a couple more, guys. Just bear with me. I got the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series, which, you know what? I absolutely love that. The freaking, like, the text, like, detective things where you're just finding clues, solving cases, and stuff like that. I love that. Just various things. Let's see. Muramasa and the Demon Blade. That's an interesting game. It's made by Vanillaware, I think they're called. They're the ones that are actually responsible for the PSP port as well as Dragon's Crown. Art style is fantastic. There's not like a lot of gimmicky like Wii motion things that were involved with the game, but graphics are stunning, the gameplay's fun and addictive, and it doesn't take really too long to beat. You can actually play as either Momosuke or like Momohime and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just really butchering characters today. But last here, we got Zack and Wiki. Interesting puzzle, and one of the few Wii games that actually make good use of the Wii motion controller. I know it sounds crazy, but
you obviously never played.
That was just one of the very few. I believe that was really well.
Freaking loser. No, actually, that game is.
No, actually, I haven't.
It's kind of good. Like I kind of enjoyed that game.
But the last game I'll say, which I believe is one of the more underrated, is Mirror's Edge. I absolutely loved playing Mirror's Edge because of the whole first-person perspective. It wasn't anything like the previous type of first-person games I was accustomed to playing. Like, hey, first-person shooter, die, shoot, and stuff, but you're just bouncing from, like, place to place, just, like, jumping, like, the building, all these damn vertigo type of moments where you're just looking down, you're, like, crossing the beams, like, oh, shit, don't fall. And I loved how you didn't really have to kill anybody inside that game, which is really refreshing, because why the hell do I have... Yeah, I know, you can just rush through the game as fast as you can, don't kill anybody. It was always hard for me because the last portion of the game where all the guards just converging to you. But, yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Alright, so my honorable mentions are, I'll do them real quick, because most of them have been touched upon. Uncharted 2, another great game. You guys already discussed it. Dragon Age, very underrated series, even though it's made by BioWare. I think it does the kind of the decision makings a lot better than Mass Effect does, where it's just not like good, bad, and neutral. It's just you have 5 decisions, and all of them have positive and negatives. Saints Row the Third, I thought revolutionized the sandbox games, everything like that. Zelda Twilight Princess, great game. One of the games I bought was the first game I bought for my Wii. I think like most people's. and probably would rank in my top 4 or 5 Zelda games of all time, which might be crazy to some, but I really enjoyed that one. Metro 2033.
That was a good game.
That was a
good book.
I haven't read the book yet, but the game was fantastic. It very good atmosphere, just being a apocalyptic. I can't talk today. Russia, just dealing with like kind of weird. There's some problems with the story. We don't explain it very well, but overall, I thought
they really
was
changed the
fantastic.
Samus character too much for me in that game to enjoy it.
yeah, too much for first. Yeah,
I know they really fucked that up.
Yeah,
it turned Samus into Sam.
It was still wearing bra and panties. And Dishonored, which is kind of like it looked like Bioshock, had the same kind of art style, but I thought it did a lot of great things, kind of like Assassin's Creed, where you could play the game 100 different ways, kind of like Far Cry 3 and Assassin's Creed, where you can play. There's 100 different ways you can go about doing it, like getting to your objective, like killing this person. You can go guns blazing, you can sneak, you can go underground through the sewer, sneak up and poison his drink and leave without anybody knowing it. You can just go up and stab him and leave. There's an infinite amount of ways you can play that game. I thought were great. Braid, which is an Xbox Live arcade game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a good honorable mention.
That game was, even though the guy that creates it's a bit of a douche, I think he made a great game with just the story of
shots fired. You might listen to this. Was that Jonathan Blow?
Jonathan Blow, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be after us now.
Does he live in Iraq? Because that's the only
that is North Korea and Iraq are 85% of our listeners. No, but great. It's just like the time traveling and just trying to solve the puzzles, the music, everything about that game was great. Binary Domain, which is took the Gears of War style, but with the Terminator 2 storyline, which I love both of those things. To make them one video game was great. And last but not least, Mario Kart Wii, because Mario Kart is the shit.
Ain't no double dash.
Yeah,
Dash okay.
Oh, I don't want to hear that. But all right, so.
Social!
My number one game of the motherfucking generation was in your honorable mention, Dragon Age Origins.
Wow.
Yes, just the ability of to create your own character from scratch, not necessarily human.
I had a feeling that.
Like, you get to follow it up through their origin story, where you can either be human, noble, or elf that's living a Dalish elf that lives in the forest, or a city slave elf, or a dwarf noble, or dwarf commoner, which is pretty much a slums dwarf. And just going through that game where you're just fighting you see how you become a part of this greater purpose, other than like you go from say slum dwarf, you go from a slum dwarf to the hero of Ferelden, and just watching his path progress as he's become this nobody that's just recruiting, and the entire Grey Wardens in Ferelden got wiped out by this traitor Tyr Loghain, and just watching his progression, like how he becomes the leader because his superior doesn't want to take command. Just making the choices like positive, you can be Paragon, Renegade like in Mass Effect, and you have more than like 3 choices than you did in Mass Effect, or usually you did in Mass Effect. Then just crap, what was I gonna say? And just recruiting all those people like Liana and Morgan, like, and then you have a relationship with. You can have a relationship with any of those characters, and it's not limited to any gender or sex.
What?
Gender or sex? Wow.
Ginger sex? What?
This game is amazing.
You can have you can actually have this like straight like no sex relationship with some of your characters. Like, okay, you don't want to have sex, but you two actually develop.
What the
really
fuck is the
close
point of that
friendship.
if you're not going to have sex?
I know, right?
Which
Platonic
hey.
relationships.
Yeah, I like gay
I got
sex.
every achievement in that game. That means I had
Did
to
you
have.
ca-
That means I had.
Including
That means
yourself?
I had to have sex with.
So
every
you
character
choose
in
the
that game.
option where you pretty much make a character where he has
So-
he has to microwave a goddamn bagel and have sex with it, didn't you?
So is this the reason why it's your number one? Is because there's so
What
much
gender
sex in
with
it?
all kinds of genders and sex?
Fox News would have a field day
No.
with this.
No. Just, no.
Those dirty sluts at BioWare.
Fox News has
God damn it.
they
They were asking for it.
You know, funny thing is, I was actually for a research paper about video game violence, and for one of my papers in college, I actually had watched a YouTube video where they were Fox News was bashing that 10
Oh yeah, that's
second
famous.
sex
Where the Liara scene is they really bugged them out. Whereas it arouses
Yeah.
me, so I don't know what their problem is.
It was like it made no sense whatsoever. But yeah, just seeing the story and like no story can be the same at any playthrough you have. I put like 18 playthroughs in Mass Effect
That's a
2.
lot of different genders and
I
sex.
played like
you're having sex
25 or
with.
something into Dragon Age Origins and Awakening.
Good God.
This expansion.
You're a dirty tart, is what you
Aiden.
are. You're just
I had sex with my main relationship that I actually paid attention to was my elf, my forest elf, and Morgan, and that was through Witch Hunt DLC. That
So,
actually progressed
Into those arms.
damn
So
Nice. The sex section.
fucking.
And so we're going on with the Yoshifett here. Let's go on with your number one game of the motherfucking generation.
Mine is so predictable, but before I say what it obviously is, you guys already know. I forgot to say that I want to put Brutal Legend in my honorable mentions. As much shit as that game gets, I loved playing that game, and maybe it was because everyone said it was shitty, and so I was mad at that. And then I played it, and I was like, "This is good." Anyways, my number one game is Mass Effect, and the reason why it's Mass Effect is because. Just like with Oblivion, it had that moment where I really felt like I was in the next generation when you first come up on the Citadel and you fly in and you get to explore the Citadel before you even go off. One of my favorite games of all time, might be my favorite game of all time, is Knights of the Old Republic. And in a lot of ways, Mass Effect took everything that was good about Knights of the Old Republic, made it better. You have the same kind of feel where there are like various home worlds that you have to take care of, but then there's like a main world at the very end you go to. I love the side quests. I love the ability to power level in that game by going to all the side quests first of all, or before you enter the main story. I totally love driving the Mako. I think I'm the only person on Earth, but I think it's a lot of fun. Retarded graphics, or not graphics, excuse me, the physics engine is stupid, but it's super fun because you can't flip over. The characters are memorable. Saren is an asshole. You want to kill him. The entire, like, playing through that game, every time I played through it, I got something different out of it, and it's my game that I played, 20 plus times this generation. And I just always, I will never completely forgive BioWare for what they did with 2 and 3, because one of the few articles I wrote when I used to write for Sarcastic Gamer was an article saying Mass Effect 1 is better than Mass Effect 2. That was the whole name of the article. It included my favorite thing that I've ever done, basically, artistically. I took the Mass Effect 1 box and the Mass Effect 2 box, and I brewed 2 bags of tea, and I literally set them up and taped the tea bags to where Shepard's balls are, and I put the tea bags on top of the Mass Effect 2 box because Mass Effect 1 literally fucking tea bags Mass Effect 2. And I wanted to make that point clear. It was one of the most impassioned articles I've ever written. Probably the only other one that was more passionate was about how the finale of Lost sucked a big cock, because it did. But I would say that all of the RPG elements in Mass Effect 1 make it this perfect balance between the next gen and what I loved about KOTOR. I actually think that the shooting and the cover mechanic is very fun in that game because it's organic and it's not like any other game, whereas Mass Effect 2 you can easily say, oh, this is a lot like Gears of War, you know? It's obviously, I know people who are more into shooters enjoy that aspect of it, but to me, like, the thing that made Mass Effect so unique and interesting and fun, part of it was the clumsiness of the gameplay. It was like part of the appeal to me. So Mass Effect, it's my game. It'll be interesting to see what the next Mass Effect is for me, because that's been my favorite game for a good 5 years or whatever. So I wonder what will come and replace it. My bet is on BioWare making the next game that does it, because they hit my sweet spot. So I'm Mass Effect. So we got 2 BioWare games already.
Wow.
What would you like to do? What would you prefer Mass Effect 4 to be?
Oh, I don't want them to make any more Mass Effect games. I mean, I'm wondering what my next Mass Effect will be. I feel like anything that they do with the Mass Effect universe at this point is going to dilute it. I like the fact that there's some mystery behind various things in the Mass Effect universe, and I'd like to leave it that way. Like, I don't want a first contact war or whatever it's called, that from when the Turians and the humans first ran to each other. I don't want to see what happens afterwards in the galaxy. I don't want to see rebuilding after the Reaper attack. I don't want any more of that universe. Leave it alone. It's fine the way it is. I think that, like, the mystery behind races like the Hanar and the Elcor, just best left alone. I mean, it's a good universe. We see what happens with stuff like Star Wars when you go back and try to explain shit, and it just doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
I would like for BioWare to just keep making new original IPs, because they are very good at doing that. Like you just mentioned Dragon Age. Go make another game, you know? It's like I think that they've gotten everything good that they can possibly get out of Mass Effect, that universe, and better left unsaid. I mean, I felt the same exact way about BioShock 2, and I felt like I was right about that they should have left BioShock 1 alone, and Infinite is great, but BioShock 2 is a kind of a stain on that franchise, because of the fact that it took some of the fun out of Rapture. So yeah, Mass Effect, love that game. Don't want any more Mass Effect games, but BioWare, make something else that I love.
News headline tomorrow. George Lucas takes over BioWare.
You just described the recurring nightmare I have. It's awful.
He just wakes up in a cold sweat. It's like, oh, no.
Ubisoft's obsession with climbing mixed with Mass Effect, and then let's make the worst game possible here. I don't know.
Well, the number one game this game really reflects what I like about video games. It's like, I don't like to play games that make me feel stressed or make me feel like I need to play online with a bunch of different people. Sometimes I just like to go back to my roots and just enjoy what led me into playing video games to begin with. So my number one game is Super Mario Galaxy.
Wow.
I love Super Mario Galaxy.
Wow.
The thing about this game that makes me feel like so at ease and stuff, it just reflects to my inner enjoyment of video games to begin with, because one of the first experiences I had as a gamer was when I was around 2 or 3 years old, like back in 1990, playing Super Mario Bros. 3 for the first time. And that leading up to there, but when I played 2007, that Super Mario Galaxy, it just gave me that type of sensation where, hey, you know what? These worlds are very fun. They're very creative. The level design is just excellent here. I love just traveling in the space, the different worlds and stuff, facing off against Bowser and all these crazy nonchalant levels and stuff like that. But mostly, it feels like very just fun, refreshing for me. You know, I just love just the casual aspect. Okay, hey, you don't want to play this right now? Just play a little bit later, do this, do that. It's just no pressure on you just to go and finish it. So, yeah, I loved the overworld little hub. I loved the little cute little storybook thing that they had, like explaining who Rosalina was and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's my favorite game of this generation is the Super Mario Galaxy.
Also made by BioWare. I don't know if you guys knew that, but lesser known titles. So
Very nice though. That's one I did not see coming, even though I probably should have looked at your list there. But no, you guys, you're probably a Nintendo and Sony guy of the podcast, for sure. But I guess mine, Yoshifett kind of ripped this a little bit. My game of the generation is Mass Effect 2.
Oh wow!
Wow. That is so funny.
3 out of 4 of us went BioWare. We are BioWare fanboys.
That's crazy.
BioWare was
what other game out there?
the game. BioWare the game. They need to make that game. I'll play that game. Where you play as Casey Hudson and you're in charge of making sure that the Mass Effect games aren't shitty.
You have to kill Spec 3.
You gotta compete against these random fanboy trolls or something, like really just battling against Mass Effect 3's ending and stuff like that. Oh, this game sucks,
Anyway, so tell me, I want your argument as to why Mass Effect 2 is better than Mass Effect 1.
I know, like, say with some of the RPG elements of it, which kind of sucks, but I think, and the level cap is way, way too low. But I think that the gameplay is definitely, I love the Gears of War style gameplay. So I love this. So I love the gameplay in this game. Plus with all the bionics and everything that you can use in that game, and just there's no frame rate issues. The clunkiness is gone. Even though I love Mass Effect, I just felt that the gameplay is 10 times better in this one. And then just the building, even though it kind of falls apart at the end with the last boss, and I completely agree with you on that one. That the fighting the Human Reaper was awful. I thought the building up, introducing all these new characters, and then the character development with all these people was just great. Meeting Jack for the first time, Garrus again, all the other new characters that you introduce on the missions you go on, the loyalty quest, are fantastic. Even though I'm not a big Mako hater, I think definitely be my least, if I had to put my least favorite part of that game, the original Mass Effect, that would be the Mako would be it. But that's pretty much the reason why I think the story isn't not. I think the Mass Effect, if I just separated 3 games, I'd say Mass Effect had the better story and the better final boss. But I think the gameplay and then the characters, all the characters you meet in that game are just top notch. So those are my reasonings.
Can't argue on that. The one thing that I would say, in addition to all the man, I've said so much of comparing these 2 games. This is on various podcasts, but I would say that the cinematics are better in Mass Effect 2. But on the other hand, there's something very low key about the Mass Effect 1 cutscenes, whereas the Mass Effect 2 ones embrace the more melodramatic kind of cutscenes, and that's okay. That's to be expected as the game moved forward. But it was kind of an interesting thing that the cutscenes in Mass Effect 1 felt more like they were just working out how cutscenes worked. BioWare was not really as in tune, and you can see that polish on Mass Effect 2. I guess for those of us who played a lot of Mass Effect 1, it was just kind of annoying that they really boxed you in, and you lost a lot of the freedom that you had in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. And for those of us who love the Citadel, like me, it was really annoying going back to the Citadel, and it was nothing. It was you could barely walk around and adventure in it. But the fighting is more fun.
Mass Effect 3 then, like the Citadel and that one.
I did, except for when they added on the Citadel DLC. That's one of my favorite pieces of DLC ever. I don't know if you guys played through that, but oh my gosh, that's fanboy fan service if I've ever seen it. They might as well just sent a Liara cosplay girl over to my house or something. Jesus. But No, I love Mass. I felt like Mass Effect 3 was a nice balance of the first two games. You know, with trying to retain a little bit more of the RPG elements. Like, I can't forgive them the way that they threw out the RPG elements of Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. I mean, down to the customization of armor and other things just became so... It was so simplified. It felt dumbed down to me, but on the other hand, I totally agree with you. The production values are much better in Mass Effect 2, and the actual fighting itself is more fun, and it's hard for me to argue against that. With all the points I have against Mass Effect 2, it's hard to argue that Mass Effect is more fun to play, the actual fighting, so... I hear you.
Nice. So
the Elusive Man is an interesting character. God, I could talk about the Mass Effect series forever, but yeah. I respect your choice.
Yeah,
even
I
though
literally
I still think number one.
Yeah,
that's number two. So literally and figuratively. So
yeah,
I think my mind has been blown from all the top picks.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is top 10 games of generation.
So we love
guys.
BioWare. You guys should change the name of your podcast to the Drunk BioWare Fans. And a Nintendo fanboy. Just add that in there, too.
Aww.
So...
Hot diggity damn, bring on the next gen.
Yeah, you're out.
It was a very good one. It's one of our best. Thanks again, Yoshi.
All right,
First-
well, I'll catch you guys later then. It's been fun. It's been real. Bye.
Later.
Right.
Very nice.
There,
Okay,
guys.
guys. So that was
Okay.
the end of our epic two-part
Okay.
podcast of the top 10 games of generation. Like I said before, we'll be back next week with a regular episode 25. Will be a big anniversary for us. Everybody, have a good night, good morning, whatever. We will see you next week. I was Gingerboy.
I was Knuckles.
And I'm the Jack of Hearts.
We're out! Excuse me. You too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.